your boy.
So it's going around that broke men don't deserve a woman. And shoot, even Cardi B said on one of her songs, broke men don't deserve no kitty.
Cardi B once said, broke boys don't deserve no.
Recently, I engaged in a conversation about broke men don't deserve a woman. And I asked the sister a question. What's the magic number men have to be not considered broke? Like, what's the dollar amount he have to have in his savings? Do he have to be invested? Do he have to have some type of a number in equity in his house? Do we have to have a 401k? Like what's the magic number for a man not to be considered broke? Gutta And Saved, they can't scam me. According to a survey conducted by GoBankingRates.com, a large number of Americans have less than $300 in savings, an amount lower than previous years. Now, this is partly because of the pandemic. You know, it took a major toll on people's financial health. 40% of Americans have less than $300 in savings. Now, this is a drop compared to pre-pandemic, prior to the pandemic figures of $400 in the savings used by the Federal Reserves as a gauge for measuring household financial well-being. So they're able to determine, what people have in a banks based upon, what's going on in the Federal Reserves, because if y'all don't know, banks use your money to lend to other people. Y'all do know that, right? But if you don't, that's another topic for another day. The survey also finds that there is a massive gender gap for the $0 to $300 range in savings, with 45% of females versus 29% of males. The gender gap in savings is likely an extension of the gender gap in income, says Julia O'Brien, an associate researcher of Go Banking Rates. While 43.91% of women reported an annual income below $30,000, only 30.27% of men reported an income that low. So 43% of women reported an income of $30,000 and lower, and only 30% of men report an income around the same amount. So it's kind of safe to say a lot of men aren't broke. Now, not responsible with their finances? Yes. See, the problem with most American men, they are like what we call in Philly, they Hummer stunners, meaning they try to appear larger than life, but they just as broke as everybody else. Now, this goes for men and women. That's why I tell people to live within their means. Stop trying to be like everybody else. Real rap. Now I'm about to play the clip of a sister who posted something on TikTok that, I responded to, and I just so happened to go viral on it, man. It went crazy. My response went crazy. Now, don't disrespect this sister. She have some valid points. She really do. And us black men can't act like we've been all there financially for our women, because we haven't been.
Not one time did I say that broke men do not deserve women. Broke men should not want to date women because they don't have their life together. I don't know why is that so hard for you guys to figure out. If you know that you are not where you need to be as a man in that moment in time in your life, your focus should not be on a woman, period. Y'all will use women as a distraction to make you feel better about being broke. And then once you finally get your stuff together, then you bounce and go to the woman who you feel like you most deserve. And no one's saying that you can't do it. It just wouldn't be wise for a woman to entertain it. If you're content with being broke, then be broke. But don't expect to get a quality woman with that type of mindset. Like I said, the men who get it, get it.
Now I'm gonna play my response to her video. Good morning. Can I chime in on this? According to Forbes, most Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings account. Most Americans are in extreme debt. Most Americans have bad credit. So when you say broke, that would mean most Americans are broke, including women. Now, just because you have a job and you're able to keep things functioning, you just living paycheck to paycheck. You may not be broke, but that's just as bad as being broke. So when you say broke, help me understand your definition or what women's definition of being broke is. Now, there's a difference between a broke man who got a job, still own a house, got a car, whatever, and a man who just a flat out scrub, who wanna leech off of women. He just a scrub. But it's men out here that... Now, I didn't say everything I wanted to say in the video because, you know, TikTok only give you 6 seconds. And then when you start getting over the 3-minute mark, you know, you lose people. But we really have to start differentiating the difference between who's a scrub and the men who's, you know, who may not be all the way there financially, but he's stable enough to maintain his lifestyle and make it do what he do. With a little money management and understanding how credit work and, you know, budgeting, he won't be as broke. Now, ladies, hear me out on this. The days of men being a sole provider is over. Inflation, the cost of living, and all that other stuff is taking a huge toll on men advancing financially. The prices are rising on everything but our paychecks. I'm sure y'all can understand that because the same thing is happening to y'all. Ladies, the requirements financially women are putting on ordinary men these days is really unrealistic. Believe it or not, right? Not many black men out there make over 6 and 7 figures. So the need for a 2-income household is more important in these days more than ever. So let's stop with all the he's a broke man mindset, and y'all really need to start focus on the scrubs and how to spot who they are, because we all know their whole goal is to leech off you anyway. Now, I'm not trying to put it on you, but you know, most men approach women, so you should be able to spot a scrub from a mile away. You should be able to spot them. So it do kind of go back to how you choosing your men. But I know that's another topic for another day, and that's a touchy topic for a lot of women. But I'm gonna give y'all, right, 3 questions to ask a man. If you know you dating a man, you into a man right now, and you know y'all taking it slow, and you trying to, you know, figure him out. I'm about to give you 3 questions to ask this man, just to see where he at and see where you at and see where y'all can end up at in your relationship. The first question is, ask him what's his goals and aspirations and what he is doing currently to make them goals and aspirations happen in his life. The second question, ask him his thoughts on marriage and being a husband. Now, the reason for asking him that question is because, in my honest opinion, marriage is a symbol of commitment and stability. Now, if you don't want to be married, that's on you. But as for me, I don't feel comfortable extending all my resources and all I got to just a girlfriend. Now, that's just me, but do you? The last question, ask him what he's looking for in a woman. This is important because by now, you should know what you can offer a man. Now, I know this whole topic on what women bring to a table is kind of like a trigger word for most women these days, but it's very important that you both are genuinely committed to each other, and it's very important to know what you both can offer each other. Now, I'm a man of God, right? Now, if you're a man or a woman of God, it's very important for y'all to ask this question first. You want to know whether that person's identity is in Christ or not. And here's why. From my point of view is, if she can be committed to Christ, who she don't see physically, she could be committed to me, whom she do see physically. And we can work everything else out, because if she's committed to Christ in the scriptures, she'll be committed to growth just as much as I am. And we can grow together according to how the scriptures, point out how men and women should be married. So yeah, those 3 questions could be applied to both men and women, because we all got to be able to recognize who's a scrub or not. Now, women could be scrubs too. Real rap, like women could be scrubs too. So it ain't only the men, man. Y'all all could be scrubs. But recognizing a scrub starts with knowing what you want and how you want it. That's where most of us fail. We just don't know what we want. We usually don't know what we want And what happens is we start allowing all these scrubs access to us, which in turn give us a poor outlook on men and women. And we often start giving off those labels, oh, he's broke or she's a gold digger. Y'all know all those terms. My wife had to hold me down for years in the beginning of our relationship. You know what I mean? She had the education, she made way more money than I did. But here's one thing my wife never did. She never held that over my head, and I was never insecure about whether she made more money than I did, and I wasn't insecure about that because we both emphasize the fact that we are a team. We gonna do this together. It's either we gonna win together or we gonna lose together. Either way, we doing it together. So we never held what each other made over each other's head. We came together as a collective for our household and made our household to make our household better. I remember one time I lost my job and I couldn't find another job for about a year, because I didn't just want to work at any old job because of my experience. Now, my wife jumped in like a champ. She started working extra hours. Man, she worked like 2 weeks straight a few times, man, until I was able to bounce back and get back on my feet. Now, was I a scrub for doing that? I know some of y'all women gonna be like, yeah, but check this out. Look at how the tides turn. Once I got back on my feet and got the engine running again, my wife was able to go part-time. Then eventually she quit because she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and by the grace of God, I was able to provide that lifestyle for her. So y'all better stop sleeping on these men who have drives. Just because he may not have all that he want and all that he can provide at the moment, it doesn't mean his drive ain't gonna get him there in the future. Because that's one thing I always had. I always had drive. And I knew one day I was going to get to where I needed to be for my family. Which leads to my last and final point. There's a huge difference between a scrub and a man who may not be where he need to be financially, but he's a hard worker and he try his best to keep things afloat. Believe it or not, ladies, that is the average black man. I believe the average black man are hard workers. It's just that it's a lot that's against us. And even some of our own women. We are not affirmed enough. We are not built up enough. We tell us to take a licking and keep on ticking. No, sometimes if you take a licking, you need to heal. You need that wound to heal. But us men never have time to heal, and so we always got to be on go because of the projection. Well, it's a lot of things that plays a part in that, but one of them is our women keep pushing us to keep on keeping on, but not noticing that we are breaking down. And that's the reason why a lot of men die a lot earlier than women, because we are told that we just got to keep on going, even when our body is telling us to slow down. But we, in the back of our mind, I got to take care of my family, and rightfully so. But just like they say, and when you go to the gym or you got a personal trainer, your resting time is more important than the workout. A lot of times, our hard work is often overlooked or deemed not enough. Now, ladies, just imagine if you and your man, put your pride aside, work together, build a budget that works for your household, understand how credit and investments work, and live within your means. Man, I tell you, the sky will be the limit for you both. I'm living proof of that. Stop watching these fake reality shows that project these men and women to have more than what they really have, when in all actuality, they're struggling just like you. Because we see what's going on their social media. And they not living how they project on these Real Housewives and those shows. They not really living like that. It's all a lie. Let me let y'all in on a secret. The financial happy medium to life is around $75,000 a year for a family of 4. Now, that's excluding some counties in California and some counties in New York, which requires $110,000 a year. A study in 2010 by Princeton University, researchers found that making $75,000 a year was the sweet spot for happiness. The study looked at the connections between how much people took home a year and their emotional well-being and their life evolution. In other words, right, it really don't take much to be financially happy when you're living on a budget, when you're living within your means, and you and your spouse can make it do what it do. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses, live within your means. Stop looking at these chicks on these fake reality shows because it's all fake, it's all scripted, and live life happy on your level. It really don't take much. Hey, if you're a gutter and you're definitely a saint, don't be afraid to let the world know. Go to gasmerch.com. gasmerch.com, where we got the hottest hoodies, we got the hottest sweatshirts and t-shirts for men and women of all sizes. gasmerch.com, exclusive, innovative, and the hottest merch around. gasmerch.com. I thank y'all for rocking out with me. Be sure to click that like and subscribe and that bell for notification to stay plugged in with your boy. I'm your boy Reese Johnson, and this is the Gutta And Saved podcast. You already know they can't stand me. I stay dropping the facts, I stay preaching the truth, and if it's in the headlines, I'm bringing it to you. I holla at y'all on the flip. Peace.
I'd say that was a pretty successful broadcast.